right, everyone, let's talk about D2L. So if you go to the main course page, you'll see that there's already an announcement posted here. So this is just a welcome announcement that kind of talks you through getting started in the course and what you should spend your time doing over the course of the first week. So the first thing you should do is take a look at the syllabus and the schedule, which we'll do here in just a second. We'll also talk about this on the first day of class. I would recommend printing out the course schedule because it is a bit of a complicated semester with us being in multiple places on Zoom or are we on campus. All the due dates you need to keep track of, all of that stuff is on the schedule. So I would highly, highly recommend printing off a copy of that course schedule, keeping it somewhere that's super accessible for you. I would also recommend watching the intro videos posted in the Getting Started module. So if you're watching this video, you're already taking care of that. There's this video, and then there's that general introduction video as well. If you have any questions about the course or the policies in the course, you can absolutely post a discussion topic about it. That's a great place to post discussion topics just about general questions in the course, because other students can chime in that might have similar questions or related questions. We can have a conversation about anything that's unclear about the course. We are going to meet for our first Zoom class. Oh, that's the wrong time. We're going to meet for our first Zoom class on Tuesday. It's actually at 9 o'clock. My class last semester was at 9:30, and I just copied and pasted this announcement. But that's actually going to be at 9 o'clock. I'll get that announcement updated. And then there's a link to the Zoom meeting right there. The link to the Zoom meeting is sprinkled all over this D2L course, so you'll find it in lots of places, but that's one way to get into the Zoom meeting. I would also recommend you start getting going on your reading. We generally have about 2 chapters worth of reading a week, so it is a lot of reading to do. So I would recommend getting started on chapter 1. You'll notice, and I'll show you all of these things too, but in the chapter material, there is also a reading guide that's posted. This is nothing that you have to do, nothing that you have to turn in, but if you are still working on developing your note-taking skills, this is a really great way to kind of highlight the most important aspects from the chapter. It is not required, but it is very helpful. And then there's also a discussion that you'll need to participate in. When we participate in these discussions, you need to respond to the prompt. That is your initial post. You have to do those by Wednesday, and then you need to respond to one of your classmates' posts by Friday of that week. So the first week of the course, we do have a discussion that's due, so you need to get that first post, that initial post by 11:59 p.m. on Wednesday, June 2nd, and then your response by 11:59 p.m. on Friday, June 4th. And then there also is a homework quiz on the first week of class as well. This will cover the material that we talk about in lecture over the course of the first week, and that will be due by 11:59 p.m. on Friday, June 4th. Everything for that week is generally due by the end of the week, so there's nothing due on like Sundays. So I want you to push yourself to get it done during the week so that you can take the weekend off of BIO 105. I take the weekend off of BIO 105, and I would recommend you try to take the weekend off as well. Really try to get it all done over the course of the week. One thing that I do need to mention is that the college does drop students for non-attendance. So if you just log in, it doesn't really count as attending the class. You need to do something. So if you post on the discussion board or send me an email or submit an assignment, all of those things establish your academic attendance. You have to do something by 11:59 p.m. on June 7th. So you have to do something the first week of class. So if you get that homework quiz submitted, if you get that discussion post posted, then you will establish your attendance and everything will be good to go. But if you have any questions, obviously you can reach out to me at any time. You can post on that question-focused discussion board. You can email me inside of D2L or outside of D2L. I am generally pretty good at keeping an eye on all of my email platforms during the week, but I do take the weekends off. So if you email me over the weekend expecting a response that weekend, you will not get it. The earliest I would respond to you would be Monday. So just keep that in mind. All right, let's look at the actual content in the course. So if you go over to the course materials content section, you can see that there is a getting started module here, and then there is a module for every week of the course. So this is going to help us stay organized, know exactly what we're supposed to do and when we're supposed to be doing it. If we take a look in this getting started module, you'll see that we have a few things posted. We have a checklist, we've got the syllabus, we've got the schedule, and then we have the link to our Zoom meeting. So again, this Zoom meeting link is all over the place. So here it is again right there. These checklists, you'll see that there will be checklists in every weekly module. These are super, super helpful. If we just take a look at this, this is another way to help keep us organized. So this is a good way for you to kind of keep track of what you've done or what you still need to do over one of the weeks in the semester. So if you look at our getting started checklist, we need to watch these videos, right? Check this off our list. Read the syllabus, look at the schedule, access the textbook, ask questions, and then take a look at the first week. So all of these things are things you should do when you're getting started in this course. I do want to just point out this section right here, accessing the textbook. Our textbook is awesome in the sense that it is an open source textbook, so it's free. You don't have to buy it. So you can look at it on the internet. That's this link right here. You can pull it up in a mobile version on your phone. You can download a PDF if you want to have a copy. You can download an iBooks copy. You can purchase a paper copy if you want that. If that like physical book is easier for you. I know for me, that's easier for me to read. So you can absolutely do that. I think it's like 20, 30 bucks on Amazon. Don't quote me on that, but it's somewhere around there. It's not super expensive. So if you do want that paper copy, by all means, feel free to purchase it, but you do not have to do that. When we look through the weekly modules, you'll also see that I have posted PDFs of the chapters that we're talking about in all of the weeks that we are talking about them. So you don't have to do any of these things, any of these 5 options to access the textbook if you just want to look in the weekly modules. They're all there for you. So let's actually just quickly take a look at the syllabus and the schedule. We're going to talk about the syllabus and the schedule in the first week of class or the first day of class really, but let's just pull it up here so you kind of know what it looks like. So all of the information about the course is up here. We're meeting on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays from 9 to noon. We meet both on campus and on Zoom. The first video, the introduction video, talks about when we meet on campus. It's also on the schedule, but we only meet on campus 7 times over the course of the 10 weeks that we're meeting. Every other time that we meet virtually on Zoom. So here it is again, the Zoom meeting linked right here. If you want to get in touch with me, you can obviously do that through D2L, but my email address is linked right here. If you want to set up some office hours with me, those are by appointment only. I don't have set office hours because this is just a part-time gig for me. So I have other responsibilities at other times throughout the week. So if you do need to track me down outside of class, we can absolutely make that happen. We just have to set it up by an appointment. Okay, this is just stuff that I have to put in the syllabus. But down here, this is where it talks about all the things that you actually need to do in the class to get a grade. So the first video, the introduction video, talks about each of these. So here they are again. I would definitely recommend that you read over this. And then there's also this sort of summary down here that talks about how you get a grade in the course. So everything is worth a certain number of points. There are 1,000 points up for grabs over the course of the semester. And depending on how many of those 1,000 points you earn, that's how you get your grade. So homework quizzes are worth about 24%, labs about 24%. So just doing those quizzes and those labs is half of your grade right there. We also have discussion posts every week. Attendance factors into 5% of your grade. We do have a small research paper. This says research paper. Don't get freaked out by that. It's a very short paper that we have to write. That's worth 5% of our grade. And then we have 2 exams, a midterm and a final. Each of those are worth 15% of our grade. So exams in general are worth about 30%, which seems a bit hefty, but I will prepare you very well for those exams. So don't worry about that if you think that percentage seems a bit high. So based on how many of those 1,000 points you earn, that will be your grade in the class. Okay, there's some other stuff in here that we'll talk about more on Tuesday, but I would recommend that you read through this prior to class just so you kind of have a baseline understanding of what we're going to be doing, how we're going to be doing it over the course of the semester. So definitely check this out. Let's look at the schedule though. So schedule is here. This is going to be the thing that keeps me on track. So this is going to be the thing that keeps you on track as well. So we've got the week over here. We've got the dates that those weeks are happening, the day of the week, and then what's happening on those days of the week. So we meet Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. So this is going to have our lecture and lab schedule here. You'll notice that there are both green and blue colors. The green color refers to when we are meeting on Zoom. The blue color refers to when we are meeting on campus. And then here's our room number right there. So the first week of class, we are just on Zoom. So don't worry about coming to campus until the second week of class. The first week, we are just going to be on Zoom. Over in this section here, this due dates section here, we have our reading, we have our labs, our discussions, and our quizzes. So it shows you exactly when everything is due. This reading isn't necessarily due on Mondays. I would just recommend you get started on it on Mondays or even over the weekend if you want to do that, because this is a lot of a reading to do in a very short amount of time. You'll see that our quizzes, if we jump to this last column, our quizzes are always due on Fridays by 11:59 p.m. And this will show you which chapters are going to be covered in the quizzes. We will always be quizzed on the information we discussed in lecture. Discussions here, our initial post responding to that discussion prompt is always going to be due on Wednesday by 11:59 p.m. And then our response to one of our classmates' posts will be due on Fridays by 11:59 p.m. The labs are a bit different because the labs that we do in person will be turned in person, and then the labs that we do on D2L are just submitted on D2L. So it's a bit strange, but there's about a week in between when we do the lab and when it's due. So you'll take a look here for our first lab, we're doing it on Wednesday. It is going to be due the next week on Wednesday. Here we have a couple labs in person on a Tuesday and a Thursday. They're just going to be due the next time you see me in person. A lot of these labs will finish in class, so you're going to turn it in the next time you see me, but you'll probably already be done with it. There are a few labs that take some of our time outside of class, but a lot of times we just finish them in class. So then, take a look at the second page. This is just going to be the second half of the semester. You'll see that after the midterm, we transition to being 100% on Zoom until the final. You can kind of see here that these labs transition to being exactly 1 week. They're due 1 week after we do them. Okay. But we'll talk about this again also in class. Make sure that nobody has any questions about what we're doing on what days. So if we go back into our D2L shell and take a look at one of these weekly modules, these will all look the same. We will always have an introduction section with a checklist. If you take a look at this checklist, it's going to be all of the things that you have to do that week, which is everything that's on the schedule. So you need to read the chapter and watch the chapter videos. I'll show you what those chapter videos are. Read chapter 2, watch the videos. Go to class on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Here's the Zoom meeting link for all of those things. And then if there's something that is due, you'll see it here on the checklist that says turn in all capital letters. Turn in your initial post on the discussion board. Turn in your response post on the discussion board. Turning in your homework quiz. Okay, all of these things are posted on the checklist to help keep you on track of what we're supposed to be doing with all of the due dates associated with them. Also, after that introduction section with the checklist, we have the chapter information. So all of the chapters we're going to be talking about are in these D2L weekly modules. So we've got chapter 1 here, and then we're also going to be starting on chapter 2. So we've got chapter 2. Within each of these chapter sections, we have the actual PDF of the class, or of the chapter here. So if you take a look at this, right, here's a PDF of the chapter. So it's all right there for you. Also in this chapter section, you can see that there is a reading guide posted here. Hold on, I have to plug in my computer. Sorry about that. Okay, so there's a reading guide that's posted here as well. You do not have to do these reading guides, but again, they are really, really helpful. Also in the chapter section, you will see something called chapter videos. So these are videos that are recorded by another Bio 105 instructor. I don't record my lectures, so if you would like to see somebody explaining the material again, as many times as you'd like, these are going to be a great resource for you. But there are also going to be videos from other sources that are posted. There are going to be maybe like some TED Talk videos, some from Khan Academy, some from this guy who makes videos called Bozeman Science, right? There's going to be a bunch of outside source videos here that kind of supplement the material. If you'd like to hear it explained in another way by another person, this is going to be a great opportunity for you. And then the last section in the chapter section is going to be this lecture slide category here. I never quite have the lecture slides done to post them before class, but I always post them after class. So if you are in class and taking notes, don't worry about writing down anything that is written on the slide, because all of that will be provided to you. I would recommend just taking notes on the things that we're talking about, the discussions that we're having, because everything on the slides, the slides themselves will be presented to you in PDF format after class. So those will get posted after the lecture at some point. Okay, so after the chapter sections, there are, here we go, lab information sections, weekly discussion sections, and then the homework quiz sections. So everything you need is all right here in this weekly module. A link to the lab, a link to the discussion post, and a link to the homework quiz. These labs, some of them, if it's a lab that we're doing over Zoom, they're going to be on D2L. It's using the quiz tool, but it's not a quiz, it's a lab. But that's going to be how we turn in our labs when we do them over Zoom. Labs that we are doing in person, we have paper copies that you'll need to print out and bring with you. If you want to see what that would look like, we can pop into week number 2. Again, we have our introduction section with the checklist I haven't made yet, the chapter that we're doing that week, the lab information, the discussion post, and the homework quiz. So this is a lab, this is 2 different labs that we're going to be doing in person the second week of class. Both of these are Word documents that you will need to print out and bring with you when you come to class. Okay, so that's pretty much all of the things that you need to know about D2L. If you have questions about how to access certain things, by all means, let me know. But we're going to talk about all of this again in class on Tuesday. So I will see you guys then, and we will talk about it more then.